Within just 48 hours, millions of Americans across the country found themselves living a real-life nightmare as Mother Nature unleashed her fury. From Texas to Ohio, from Tennessee to Michigan, states were placed under the highest level of emergency alerts as a series of devastating storms rolled in, the likes of which hadn't been seen in years. And this wasn't just about heavy rain. This was about tornadoes with the power to wipe out entire towns in seconds. One of the hardest-hit areas was Lake City, Arkansas. As dark clouds gathered and the wind began to howl, residents had only minutes to seek shelter. The National Weather Service issued a top-level tornado emergency alert, a level reserved for only the most extreme events. And sure enough, an EF3 tornado ripped through the region, leaving a path of unimaginable destruction. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders quickly declared a state of emergency. Early footage posted on social media revealed scenes of chaos, flattened homes, overturned cars, and massive trees torn from their roots. Even worse, many were reported missing under the rubble, turning rescue efforts into a race against time. That evening, radar images showed a classic hook echo pattern over the Arkansas-Missouri border, signaling the likely presence of a supercell tornado. As night fell, tracking the storm became increasingly dangerous and deadly. Meteorologists warned that nighttime tornadoes are especially perilous due to reduced visibility and slower public response. Across the central states, over 300 tornado warnings were issued in a single day, stretching from Oklahoma to Ohio. Tennessee alone declared a statewide disaster for all 95 counties, after suffering 7 confirmed tornadoes with wind speeds strong enough to bring down reinforced buildings. In Missouri, a local TV station was struck directly by a tornado during a live broadcast. The lights flickered, winds howled, and panic erupted on air. One meteorologist said he'd never seen a wedge tornado come straight at a broadcasting station in his entire career. Tragically, lives were lost. Missouri Highway Patrol Sergeant Clark Parrott confirmed the death of at least one individual in the area between the towns of Advance and Delta. The tornado destroyed homes, schools, churches. Nothing was spared in its path. In Tennessee, 5 fatalities were confirmed, including several children. With homes collapsing and floodwaters rushing in, many people were trapped in their basements. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to debris fields. Emergency crews worked around the clock, even as downed power lines and damaged roads hampered their efforts. A separate tragedy struck Indiana, where a man exited his vehicle after it hit a fallen power line. He was electrocuted upon contact with the live wire. Officials urged residents to remain indoors and avoid any interaction with unknown hazards until emergency personnel gave the all-clear. Meteorologists have classified this as a multi-hazard storm system, combining tornadoes, flash floods, hail, and high winds. Torrential rain battered much of the Ohio Valley and Ozarks, with localized flooding already displacing hundreds of families. The National Weather Service warned that rainfall totals could reach 15 inches, 380 millimeters, in some areas by Sunday. Such extreme precipitation could trigger widespread flash floods, sweeping away vehicles and collapsing small bridges in rural communities. This was not just a warning, it was a call to action. Photos from Kentucky and Illinois showed streets submerged under 2 feet of water. Families climbed onto rooftops waiting to be rescued by inflatable boats. At a school in Kalamazoo, part of the roof collapsed during class hours, forcing a mass evacuation. In a horrifying scene, a tree fell onto a minivan, killing 3 children inside and injuring 3 more from the same family. Western Michigan faced 6 confirmed tornadoes in a single day, including an EF1 that tore through Edwardsburg with wind gusts reaching 85 miles per hour. Trees were uprooted, barns flattened, and power was knocked out across entire towns. The worst part? Many of these storms hit in the dead of night, when residents were asleep and unaware of the danger. Even eastern states weren't spared. Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio faced strong winds and intense rainfall. Tornado warnings were issued at 5 a.m. for towns like Cheat Lake, Westover, and Star City. Schools shut down, traffic lights were out, and emergency responders scrambled to control the damage. But perhaps the most concerning detail is that this weather event isn't over. A new low-pressure trough is forming over the Midwest, expected to move east over the weekend. While the tornado risk is lower, the chance for strong winds and flash floods remains very real. With El Niño strengthening and climate change intensifying, experts are warning that the U.S. is entering an era of more frequent and severe weather disasters. Regions once thought to be safe are now vulnerable to deadly storms and floods. Government agencies are ramping up emergency preparedness, investing in early warning systems, and educating the public on how to stay safe. Infrastructure improvements and community resilience plans are more critical now than ever.